Hi, welcome to the Latina Moms Building Wealth interview series. I'm really excited for our guest today. But before we start, I just want to let you know that today's interview is strictly for educational purposes. It should not be taken as advice. And so it is an honor with me to introduce you to Maria Luisa Gonzalez. She's an advocate for Hue and Grace, and she sells products that are hormone safe and clean for your entire family. And so welcome, Maria Luisa.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, so I'm really excited to have you today. I'm a big believer in healthy products. I'm a big believer in being a naturalist. So I really want you to share your wealth of knowledge with our audience today. So a little bit about yourself. How did you get started with this and why you actually do this?
Great. Well, Hue and Grace is a company that's not very well known just yet. It's a ground level company, and I was introduced to it actually right shortly after Thanksgiving. A girlfriend of mine who I've known for many years, went to high school together. We're sisters in Christ. I would see her, passionately put posts up about this company, Hue and Grace, and I'm like, well, what is this? What is going on here? Why is she so passionate about this thing? So it just so happened that right around Thanksgiving time, she put up this very powerful story that really touched my heart. So I reached out to her privately and I said, hey, fill me in. Let me know what this is about. I'm curious. And we set up just like this, we set up a Zoom call and started chatting, and told me that it's, hormone safe, clean products, that's safe for everyone to use. Gave me, the 411 on it all.
Mm-hmm.
So, God is intentional. Let me just put it that way, because this pretty much aligns with the journey that, I have been on with my husband, my family for well into a year. We started this lifestyle change, in essence, really, or so I thought, to help my husband. My husband's diabetic, and we're like, we really have to, change the way we eat, change what we do, so that we can, in essence, get you off of Western medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've been on medicine for so long, while it may help one thing, what could it possibly be hurting, as well? So as we started this journey, here comes Hue and Grace. And while I thought this journey was for my husband, it actually turned out that it was going to be for me as well, because I, was handed a little piece of humble pie at one of my annual checkups, where it's like, you need to kind of start looking at changing your eating habits, get on a diet, lose some weight, get some exercise, because your sugars are looking a little high, you're predisposed to being pre-diabetic. And I was like, oh, no, doc, what do I need to do? Because I am not taking any medicine. I already see what this is doing to my husband. I refuse to let it do to me.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point in time, my mind shifted. And it was about, okay, what do I need to do to get us healthy? And started to educate myself, started to research, started to look at things, and really hone in on, what do we put in our bodies? What do we eat? What do we cook with? In my younger years, when the organic, grass-fed topics started to come about, I was like, oh, it's just a fad. Everybody's being bougie.
Yeah.
It's just, y'all just jumping on the bandwagon, wanting to be like everybody else. Well, here I come, 10, 15, close to 20 years later, and it's like, oh yeah, it is really important what we look at. So that was the start of the focus. And then when Hue and Grace came in, it's like, well, it is more than just what we eat.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about, the toxins that we put on our body, just based on lotions, based on just the cleaning household products that we use. It can be overwhelming. It's so surreal how much is out there. So as we look at the skincare products, as we look at these wellness products, it's like, well, hey, I'd rather invest in something that's going to make us all healthy, heal us from the inside out, versus having to spend money on medicine that in the long run may hurt us even more.
Right.
And here we are. Here we are.
So you used a couple words that I want to go back to. You said lifestyle change, right? Like so many times as women, we go to that lifestyle change because of a scare. And you know,
Yes.
I'm gonna include myself in this. 2 years ago, I was really struggling with this leg and foot pain. I went to chiropractors, foot doctors. I mean, you name it, I got it done for 2 years. So what that did was I had to take time off, right? I was losing sleep because I was stressed out. Like, how about if something is wrong with me? How about if I'm not going to be here for my kids? And so all of this, you know, we sometimes don't look at taking care of our health as also taking care of our wealth, right? When it comes to money.
Yes.
And so I can't even tell you how many days off I had to take because my doctor wasn't close to my job or my home. And so luckily I was in a good financial situation where I even took leave without pay, right? But there's women out here who can't do that. There's women out who are single moms. There's women that are barely making it, right? And so when we're not taking care of our health, that's really also affecting our wealth. And so it gave me a scare, you know, to also start taking natural supplements and doing what I'm doing. But why do we have to get to that point, right? Like, why not start incorporating it now? So what do you tell what do you tell those women? Like, what is something that you would encourage them?
Oh, that's a great question. I wish I would have asked myself that, when I was, 20, 22, years old, but gosh, your body goes through so many changes, and the earlier you can start to, how do I say it in Spanish? Sanarlo, keep it
healthy,
the better you'll be in the long run.
Right.
It doesn't hurt to educate yourself, step out of the norm of what you knew growing up. There's ways that you can keep eating the traditional dishes that we grew up eating, but in a healthier fashion. There's nothing wrong with playing with, experimenting with cooking, because it can be so much fun,
and that's also a mindset block.
Yes,
that's a mindset block, because I'm one of those that I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I always tell my husband, I'm not doing that. I don't want unrealistic diets. Like, I know I need a health, like a lifestyle change. I don't need a diet. I don't need to be eating bars and shakes. Like, for me, I know it's a lifestyle that I need. And so you use something else that I want to highlight. You use invest, right? Invest in these products, invest researching, invest your time doing this, because when you don't, we pay it out of copays, we pay it in surgeries, we pay it in so many other ways that we don't realize.
In essence, you're investing in yourself. And that's what I'm doing. I'm investing in myself. I'm investing in my family. I'm investing in my girls, so that we can be here until God calls us home. If we end up, if something were to happen to my husband or I, health-wise, because it was something that could have been prevented, I mean, that's the route I'm taking.
Right.
So how can we look at this, and it truly is a mind shift, because I'm like you. I was like, no diets for me. You tell me diet and I'm going to want to eat everything under the sun. That's going to just cost me, not going to be the greatest for me. So it truly was. And I mean, I enjoy cooking. So, it's just been fun. And it's like, okay, what can I do here? What can I try here? What can I try now? And I truly have enjoyed kind of recreating some of our traditional dishes that we grew up with, but making them healthier. And then we still enjoy them because the same flavor is there, but it's healthier for you.
Right. And you know what? I think that's great, because I remember in college, one of my sorority sisters was like, let's do this Jenny Craig or the points, whatever that was. And I remember going there and I was like, I looked at the little book and I'm like, this is not for Latina women. Like, I eat rice, I eat all kinds of stuff, right? And so I some of these, programs are really unrealistic for women
Yes.
of our culture, right? And
Yes.
so then we feel like, well, I can't do this. This is that's in my mind. I was like, no, this ain't gonna work. Like, and I just automatically shut it down, right?
Yes.
And so yeah, I just really want to I think you're doing a great job. And I also think you're probably struggling with similar, like with me, with helping women with this mindset shift, right? Like, hey,
Yes.
just because your mother made it this way and your grandmother made the food this way does not mean that you need to make it that way. Like, it's
Right.
okay to change it or to do things that they did not know. They didn't know better. But now we have access. I always tell people the access is in our fingertips, right? To the internet, to the program,
Absolutely.
that we have
Yes.
no excuse why not to do this.
It's amazing that once we started changing what we eat, the difference I started to feel in my body. I don't look at this as a diet. I don't look at it as anything other than I'm enjoying my meal, and changing so much as to how the oils that we used to cook it with. I mean, I've noticed a huge shift in my body. I'm no longer feeling bloated. I'm no longer achy. Um, I no longer feel lethargic. So
Mm.
all of these things were already in place when Q and Grace came into my life. So the supplements that are provided with that is just an enhancement to even help me feel even better.
Mhm.
And even it's something that my husband does, and he's kind of come along for the ride, and he's like, okay, what you've told me, while I am a little resistant, I see what it's doing to you. Let me have it work on me.
Right, right. And I think you said something like, hey, it changes how I'm feeling. It changes my body.
Yes.
And it also changes our mood and our energy, right? To now
Yes.
want to do
Yes.
more. Because I remember
Yes.
in that season, my husband's like, what's wrong with you? Like, I remember crying myself to sleep
Oh
in
my God, I
pain.
did that so many
And I
times.
remember, and I was just like, oh my God. And all I could think about is, I need to live. I need to survive. I need to live. I need to survive. Right. And so I really commend you for being an advocate of Hugh and Grace. And I really hope that you continue this path to help as many families as possible.
Yes.
I really think
Thank
as
you.
Latino families, we really need it. Um,
Yes,
we need it.
absolutely.
And
I've been trying to work with my parents on it, and that, traditional, mindset. My mom's a little more challenging than my dad is. My dad seems to be more on board, but my mom, it's like, if I can get her to see, it's just how great she would feel if just with a minor shift. She's so set in her ways. God bless her. I love her, but it's just like, oh,
so
if only.
you need to find that why that is strong enough for her. Right? What is that why? What is that reason for her to? And it's like that with me, with women with money. Like, it's so hard, these shift changes, these mindsets, to be like, okay,
Yes.
what is going to motivate you? What is going to
Yes.
push you for you to change this? And so even as a money coach, I actually have a client who's really big on their vitamin supplements and their eating habits. And I never will remove that from the budget. Like, I'm always like,
Absolutely.
okay, how, because it's a lifestyle. How can we incorporate this? Right. I like to
Hmm.
help people create budgets that are not restrictive. I don't want you to feel like it's unrealistic and unrestricted. And, being healthy, that gym membership or those vitamins or whatever, those shakes that are good for you. I incorporate that. So this is obviously something that I
That's
also
great.
work with clients to ensure that, hey, this is a need, right? Keeping yourself
Yes.
healthy, preventing yourself is a need. It's not a want. It's not an option,
Yes.
especially if you're a mother and you have family.
Hmm. I think to the fact of, in my season before I started my journey, there was absolutely no way I would have been in the right frame of mind to think about advocating, or what some people would say, selling a product, because I was just running on fumes, trying to get through to the next, whatever I had to do, trying to get to the next point, and gotta go to work, gotta get the kids, gotta go home, get dinner, gotta do homework, all right, go to bed, up the next day and do it again. So there was absolutely no way that I would have been in the mindset to advocate for products like this. They were the first from my mind. So that's why I say, God is intentional about things, because I had to start on my journey. I had to be on this journey with my husband. I had to realize that it was not for him, this journey was in essence for me, so that I could turn around and be that advocate, not just only for myself, but for my family and for everyone else out there that has no idea what this is about.
Right, right. Let's be on that. Yeah, so, well, thank you for being with us. Just before we end, if women want to connect with you, how can they reach you?
I do have a link that goes directly to my website. I can send you my business card, which will then have my email address, my phone number, the QR code to my link again. And then obviously, well, my Facebook page is mostly set to private. So,
Well,
I have
what
contact
email can they reach you? So at least they can hear it in case what is an email that they can reach you at?
Luisa Gons 8613@gmail.com.
Okay, Luisa Gons 8613@gmail.com.
Mhm.
Perfect. And then when this video goes live, I will definitely add that in the links for the women who are
Perfect.
interested in connecting with you.
Perfect.
If there's one thing that you can leave our women, our audience today with one piece of advice or one last final word, what would it be?
It's okay to put yourself, it's okay to take care of yourself. We as moms and as women, as wives, we always have that tendency of putting everyone else first. It's important to take care of us too. Yes, I'm going. Oh, so it's important to take care of us too.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, not that mom guilt, right? That we all struggle
right,
with.
right.
It's not, and I personally, I'm one that struggles with mom guilt all the time. And I constantly have to tell myself, it's okay to do this. It's okay to get a massage. It's okay to leave your kids for an hour and just walk
Yes.
somewhere. It's okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that was great advice. Well, Maria Luisa, thank you so much for spending time with us today and for throwing some gems. And I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You do the same.
Bye-bye.
Bye.